In 2010, in Seoul, Jun took his younger brother, Suk, to apply for a job at Chairman Lee Ji-won's company. To impress the chairman, Jun entered a fight between two gangs. He easily defeated a tough opponent from the rival gang, even though that man had beaten many others before. In the present day, a manager from Bongsan Group is kidnapped and quickly killed by two foreign assassins. Meanwhile, Chairman Gu Bongsan of Bongsan Group and Chairman Lee Ji-won of Ji-won Group discuss the incident over a meal. Bongsan reveals that his son, Gu Junmo, hired the assassins to kill the manager after discovering his business misconduct. Because Junmo is his son, Bongsan doesn't want to get involved directly. He asks Ji-won to handle the situation and clean up the mess. In return, he promises to help Ji-won with a real estate matter. Ji-won agrees and assigns the task to Suk, who is now a high-level executive and his future successor. However, Suk wants to quit. Even so, he accepts the task and goes to meet Junmo with his assistant, Cheon Habyum. Suk tells the foreign assassins to leave Korea within 3 days. Junmo is upset and mocks Suk by bringing up Jun. It turns out Jun once caused a big problem, and both chairmen had to deal with it. They spared his life but cut his Achilles tendons as punishment. Suk, with just a few punches, takes down Junmo and walks away, ignoring Junmo's threats to kill him. At the same time, a Bongsan manager named Kim Chun-seok receives a call and is shocked to hear that Suk met Junmo in person. Later, Suk visits Jun, who now lives at a campsite in the forest. This is their first meeting in 6 years. Suk says Chairman Ji-won wants him to take over, but he has mixed feelings about it. Jun senses something is wrong. Back home, Suk feels like someone is in his apartment. In the parking garage, he sees a cat and feeds it. Suddenly, a masked man attacks him. More attackers come from the shadows. It's an ambush. Suk defeats them all with ease. He spares the last attacker, but as he turns away, the man stabs him. In the forest, Jun gets a phone call. The scene shifts to Suk's funeral, where Ji-won employees come to pay respects. Chairman Gu Bongsan and Junmo are also there. Outside, Ji-won's manager Choi Cheol talks to Kim Chun-seok, implying that Bongsan is likely behind the attack. But the police report claims Suk was killed by a group of delinquent teens. At that moment, prosecutor Lee Ji-eum, Lee Ji-won's eldest son, arrives to mourn. But Cheol tells him to leave, saying his father doesn't want to see him. Then, Jun appears. Cheol orders everyone to bow to him. He leads Jun to Suk's body. Jun questions whether the attackers were really just kids. Elsewhere, the two chairmen discuss who will replace Ji-won. Jun walks in and reminds them of the agreement made 11 years ago. He promised to stay away, and they promise to protect his brother. When they don't give him more details about Suk's death, he leaves. Outside, Suk's assistant Habyum introduces himself to Jun. Later, Jun visits Suk's home. He finds camping books and a birthday gift Suk had prepared for him. He also finds an old picture of him, Suk, Chun-seok and another man. They are old friends. Jun decides that he has to find out who actually ended his little brother's life. He uses bandage to wrap around his ankle to cover his old wound, then goes to the police station and demands to see the suspect in his brother's murder. The detectives refuse, but Jun hints he knows something about them. Eventually, he is allowed to meet the suspect. The one that stabbed Suk, Hui-chan, shows no remorse, but accidentally mentions he has a younger brother. Jun tracks the younger brother, only to be surrounded by Hui-chan's entire gang. This was Jun's plan to find out who really killed Suk. A fight breaks out, and Jun defeats them all. Afterward, he approaches the younger brother. Meanwhile, Jun's question about the true cause of Suk's death makes Chairman Ji-won reflect. He sends a man in sunglasses named Yang Do to investigate the hidden details of the incident. Elsewhere, at the special investigation room in the prosecutor's office, people discuss Suk's death. They say that Ji-won and Bongsan were once members of a gang led by Chairman Oh. However, the death of Oh's son triggered a coup, after which Ji-won and Bongsan took over power. Later, the deputy chief prosecutor assigns Ji-eum to lead the investigation, but tells him to guide it in a specific direction. Meanwhile, Jun uses his brother to threaten Hui-chan, forcing him to confess. Hui-chan reveals the graveyard, a chat room used to find runaway teens and hire them for odd jobs. That's where Hui-chan was hired. Now, they've also hired a lawyer named Ms. Yoon to defend him. As lawyer Yoon leaves the police station, Jun sneaks into her car and interrogates her about the graveyard. She explains how it works and hands him the business card of CEO Sim-won, who runs the operation under the name Clean. When Jun can't find one at the office, he calls him. It becomes clear they've known each other, and one immediately panics. Upon returning to the office, he finds his staff beaten and the place in ruins. One drops to his knees and begs for his life, claiming he was just following orders. After a few punches, he confesses that it was Gu Junmo who ordered the killing. At home, Chairman Ji-won also finds out Junmo was behind the assassination. Manager Cheol wants the company to respond, but Ju-won refuses to start a war. Ji-eum overhears the entire conversation through his listening device. As Cheol leaves, he runs into Hae-byum, who also wants to act against Junmo. But Cheol tells him to follow orders. Before leaving the house, Ji-eum makes a cryptic remark to Cheol, indicating he overheard the conversation with Chairman Ju-won. Meanwhile, manager Chun Se-ik meets with Won and asks whether he told Jun about Junmo. Won admits that he did. The two chairmen meet, and Ju-won reminds Bong-san of their agreement after leaving Chairman Oh that neither would betray the other, and if one did, there would be consequences. Bong-san insists that his son didn't kill Suk. As Ju-won warns him about Jun walks into the room. He reveals that he knows about Junmo and asks if they were involved in Suk's death. Believing they weren't, he asks them to do nothing, to simply stand by and watch. After he leaves, Chairman Bong-san begs Ju-won for help. Ju-won seems indifferent until Bong-san offers him the Decro Hotel. Bong-san later confronts his son and beats him for what he did. Junmo claims he acted out of revenge because Suk had humiliated him. Elsewhere, Jun meets a man named Choi Byung-go, the fourth man in the group picture. He says he needs a cane, like in the old days. Byung-go replies it will take time to make and also gives him a metal brace for his injured ankle. Hae-byum, who is also hungry for revenge, meets with Jun, and the two decide to work together. They use lawyer Yoon in the graveyard to track down Junmo's location. A brief flashback shows the man in sunglasses calling Ju-won and confirming that Junmo was the one who ordered the hit. He advises Ju-won to consider whether to follow their only rule, break it, or create a new one where he takes full control of the Bong-san group. In the next room, Ji-eum hears everything. He then looks at a folder containing a warrant to search and sees the assets of Lee Ju-won. Chairman Bong-san again asks a hitman to take down Jun, but the man refuses, saying he's not capable enough. Bong-san then orders his men to take Junmo to a safe house and instructs another to investigate Suk's death further. At the Decro Hotel, Chun Se-ik tells Junmo they need to go into hiding. But Junmo lashes out, not understanding why so much trouble is being made over one man. As Bong-san's other man, Lee Dong-kyung, tries to convince Junmo to leave, Jun suddenly appears, storming into the hotel. Chun Se-ik quickly escapes with Junmo while Dong-kyung fights Jun. Sim-won is preparing to flee when Jun finds him. Jun gives him exactly 1 day to find Junmo's location. Meanwhile, Cheol reflects on Ji-eum's cryptic remarks and realizes he must be eavesdropping on his father. Searching the house, Cheol finds Ji-eum's listening equipment. He confronts Ji-eum, who hints that they could destroy Bong-san and seize everything for themselves. At the safe house, Junmo asks Chun Se-ik about Jun, leading to a flashback 11 years earlier. At that time, Ju-won and Bong-san were subordinates under Chairman Oh. They were losing a fight against the Busan gang when Jun appeared and turned the tide. Since then, Ju-won and Bong-san gained Oh's trust, and rumors spread that the company would go to them instead of his son, Sungwon. Sungwon couldn't accept this and tried to have Ju-won and Bong-san killed. In retaliation, Jun killed Sungwon. He then advised Ju-won to kill Chairman Oh before Oh could kill them. While Ju-won and Bong-san were being interrogated at Oh's house, Jun killed all of the chairman's men and handed them the gang's leadership. However, one of Oh's men told Jun that he knew Jun wasn't the one who killed Sungwon. Afterward, the two new chairmen made a pact of peace. Because Jun had started everything by killing Chairman Oh's son. His Achilles tendon was severed and he was exiled. Back in the present, Byung-go visits Jun and advises him not to take on the entire Bong-san group. But Jun doesn't listen. Meanwhile, Chairman Bong-san investigates Suk's death and discovers the case was handled by a detective named Han Se-kyun. At the safe house, Junmo tries to break free but can't. He then calls the foreign assassins and hires them to kill Jun. Jun later meets Chun Se-ik, who warns him against challenging the Bong-san family. Surprisingly, Chun Se-ik gives him an address where Junmo is hiding, but it turns out to be a trap. Junmo convinced Chun Se-ik that killing Jun would save them both. The address leads Jun to a hotel under renovation, where he is ambushed by two assassins. Naturally, Jun kills them both and uses their phone to call Junmo, telling him they'll be meeting very soon. A flashback reveals that it was actually Suk who killed Chairman Oh's son, not Jun. Chairman Bong-san meets with Yang and tells him that he has already settled things with Ju-won. And the only matter left is dealing with Jun. He asks Yang to take on the job. At the safe house, a new group of men arrives and overpowers all of Junmo's guards. It turns out Junmo himself called them so that he could get out. One of them is Jong In-seok, a famous fighter who once won several championships before being expelled. Junmo offers him and his partner 1 billion won to kill Jun. Elsewhere, Jun visits a doctor to get his wounds treated. Later, Byung-go calls him and says he's going to meet Ju-won to ask him to resolve everything according to the rules. However, the meeting is interrupted when Junmo shows up in his office, accompanied by the two fighters he hired. Byung-go warns Junmo not to go up against Jun. This enrages Junmo, who attacks him with a bat. Chun Se-ik arrives too late and is devastated to find Byung-go lying motionless on the floor. Junmo then uses the bat to kill Chun Se-ik as well. When June calls, Junmo picks up the phone and tells him that both Byung-go and Chunseok are dead, then gives him the address of the safe house. June goes to Byung-go's place and finds his body. He picks up the new bat that Byung-go had made for him and leaves. Meanwhile, Chairman Bong-san has Detective Han kidnapped. He accuses Han of knowing in advance that Suk would die and threatens him for more information. Back at the safe house, Junmo gathers a large group of people and offers them a hefty reward if they can capture June alive. Not long after, June arrives. He jumps into the fight and battles fiercely. After taking down a large man, many others flee the scene. Junmo begins to panic, while Jong In-seok, confident in his abilities, demands double the pay. At the same time, Detective Han shows Bong-san a recording of someone ordering him to stage the scene so it would look like runaway teens had killed Suk. Bong-san seems to recognize the voice. June finally enters the room where Junmo is hiding and begins to fight In-seok. In-seok proves to be a formidable opponent, and June starts to struggle. But the tide turns when June uses a shard of glass to stab In-seok in the eye. After a series of hard blows, June ultimately defeats him. Junmo pulls out a gun, but June is quick enough to knock it out of his hand. Junmo starts begging for his life, screaming that no matter what June does, Suk will still be dead. June, cold and calm, swings his bat and kills Junmo with a single, fatal strike. June then calls Bong-san. As Bong-san begins to say that Junmo wasn't the one who killed Suk, June cuts him off and declares that Junmo is dead, while driving away. June recalls a memory of Suk telling him they should meet more often. Suddenly, another car crashes violently into his, sending him off the bridge and into the river below. A man with a tattoo on his hand steps out of the car and makes a phone call, saying that June is dead. A flashback to the night Suk died shows Hui-chan stabbing him. But the stab has no effect. Calmly, Suk throws Hui-chan aside, and the gang runs away. Suk pulls the knife from his body and walks out of the garage. Suddenly, he is attacked by another masked man. Unlike the kid, this man is a skilled fighter. Outside, Detective Han waits in his car. After a fierce struggle, the masked man stabs Suk in the neck and leaves him for dead. Detective Han enters the parking lot a while later and reports the homicide. In the present, June's car is pulled from the water. June is found washed ashore and is rushed to the hospital by Habeam. Elsewhere, Chairman Ju-won meets Chairman Bong-san. Bong-san admits he had June killed for the sake of his son. He then shows Ju-won documents proving Detective Han was paid by JW Gallery, a subsidiary of the Ju-won Group. Bong-san accuses Ju-won of killing Suk, framing Junmo, and planning to hand everything over to his son. Bong-san declares that either he or Ju-won must die. Both sides prepare for war. Soon after, several of Bong-san's men are arrested by prosecutors. The deputy chief prosecutor is frustrated, as GM had his people move in 30 minutes early, missing Bong-san. GM then reveals his plan to go after his own father after taking down Bong-san. Ju-won confronts Yang and accuses him of bribing Detective Han, using Bong-san's documents as proof. He asks why Yang killed Suk. Yang denies it and suspects GM might be the one behind Suk's murder. Barely recovered, June meets with Habeam and hands him Suk's suitcase and car keys. At Enclean HQ, one is boasting that June is dead until June shows up in person. June tells him to find out who tried to kill him. One then takes him to the columbarium where Chunseok and Byung-go's ashes are kept. At home, Ju-won confronts his son. GM simply says he was following orders. Meanwhile, Ju-won's forces continue attacking the Bong-san group. Bong-san refuses to run and fights alongside his men. In the end, they lose, and Ju-won kills Bong-san himself. Amid the chaos, one Bong-san employee is spared. It turns out he is a mole planted by Yang. On a call, Yang tells him he will now be the head of the Bong-san group. In Yang's room, a list of crossed-out names is seen: Bong-san, Junmo, and Suk. The only name left is Ju-won. Yang visits a prisoner named In Tae-won, who used to work for Chairman Oh and was the last person to fight June. He also knows that June didn't kill Chairman Oh's son. Later, June meets Ju-won. Ju-won tells him about Yang, who used to go by the name Mr. Kim. He was a former cop brought in by Chairman Oh to cover up crimes. Even after Chairman Oh died, Yang stayed with the group and made a lot of money, but that wasn't enough for him. Yang began using blackmail to earn more. Still, his actions kept the peace between the two gangs. Ju-won then plays a recording of Yang warning Suk that Chairman Oh's son was planning to attack June. That's why Suk acted first. Ju-won tells June that Yang is controlling things again. He offers June control of his company, but June says no. He only wants to meet Yang. Ju-won agrees to set it up. A flashback shows Yang talking to the Bong-san spy. He has more allies than expected. Soon, Cheol, Ju-won's right-hand man, and GM, Ju-won's son, join them. Yang and GM meet. With Bong-san now destroyed, Yang tells GM to decide what to do with his father. He advises him to act when the time is right. That night, at the police station, Yang gets a call from Jewon. As he walks to his car, June ambushes him. June attacks, but Tae-hwan suddenly shows up and steps in. He's out of prison and delays June long enough for Yang to escape by car. Realizing that Jewon tipped off June, Yang calls Jewon and says they need to meet. The next morning, as Jewon prepares to go to a board meeting, GM tells him he'll go instead. He reveals that he has secretly been working with Yang ever since his father pushed him out of the company. Jewon angrily says he did that to protect him from this cruel world, but GM says this is the life he wants. Then GM and Cheol leave, leaving Jewon alone. At the police station, Yang tells Tae-hwan to drive his car. Won's men follow it and send the location to June. At the board meeting, the members refuse to accept GM. Won walks out, but seconds later, his scream is heard. The others sit down quickly. GM says he's not afraid to get his hands dirty like his father. Meanwhile, Jewon opens a safe at home and takes out a gun. June finds the car and confronts Tae-hwan. Tae-hwan says June should have killed him 11 years ago instead of cutting off his hand and humiliating him. Now, with a fake arm, he wants revenge. They fight hard and June stabs him but not too hard, but Tae-hwan pushes the knife in himself and dies. Yang then goes to Jewon's house to kill him. Jewon pulls a gun, but Yang knocks it away and they fight. In the end, Yang shoots and kills Jewon. June arrives at Jewon's house and finds his dead body in a chair. Suddenly, Yang shows up with police and arrests June. A flashback shows that GM heard his father's murder through a hidden listening device. At the station, Yang tells June that he helped plan Suk's murder. Later, while being taken in a police car, June senses something wrong in a tunnel. Yang likely plans to kill him. June fights the officers, crashes the car, and escapes. He runs into Won, who says he was supposed to cover up June's fake death, but instead gives him a burner phone, Jewon's pipe, and helps him escape. Won says he's leaving the country soon. At home, GM plays the recording of Yang killing Jewon for Cheol. Cheol wants to kill Yang right away, but GM has another plan. As a prosecutor, he orders a raid on Yang's office. One of Yang's men warns him not to return. Yang calls GM, who calmly says he knows Yang killed his father and now must pay. GM has secretly caused gang wars and now plans to remove the final obstacle. GM then meets Kaneyama, the Japanese assassin who killed Suk. Interpol is after him, but Yang gave him a new identity for his work. GM promises him freedom if he kills June. Another one of Yang's men receives a package at the golf club and takes it to Yang's hideout. A flashback from 8 months ago shows GM warning Yang that Internal Affairs is secretly investigating him. He offers to stop the investigation if Yang helps him. GM's plan: merge Jewon and Bongsan, kill Suk, frame Junmo, and spark a gang war. Yang secretly records the conversation, puts the audio on a USB, and hides it in the golf club package. GM finds a gun in Yang's office. Right after, Jewon's funeral begins. Elsewhere, Won and his team wait for a boat captain. Won says he has bigger plans, but he's ambushed by thugs and betrayed by a teammate, who steals his suitcase full of money. We learn that this betrayal was ordered by GM through Cheol. Somewhere else, June intercepts Yang's men as they transport the package from the golf club. Inside are all of Yang's audio recordings, full of evidence against GM, Jewon, Bongsan, and more. June defeats them and gets the USB with GM's recording. His next opponent is Kaneyama, the assassin. They're evenly matched, but June realizes Kaneyama killed Suk. That truth gives him strength, and he kills Kaneyama. June then reaches Yang's hideout. Yang sees him on the CCTV and shoots as soon as he enters. Even after being shot twice, June keeps walking and kills Yang in a brutal, bloody fight. At Jewon's funeral, GM talks with his superior, the deputy chief prosecutor, and a former spy who now leads the Bongsan group. He convinces them to join his side. Later, June arrives, pays his respects, and tells GM they'll meet again soon. After visiting his brother's grave, June gives Haebyum the recording of GM. He tells him to wait for his call and warns him not to let the violence continue. Elsewhere, GM and his superior force the prosecutor general to take their side. The two gangs officially merge. Jewon Group and Bongsan sign a deal, and the DeCrow Hotel is renamed JW DeCrow. During a celebration, GM gives a speech, saying even illegal actions can become legal. He promises a new system. But the glory doesn't last long. With help from lawyer Yoon, Haebyum sends the recording to the media. News spreads quickly. People at the event start leaving one by one. When the deputy chief prosecutor insults GM, he snaps and kills him in front of everyone. Cheol tells GM to run and promises to clean up the mess. When June arrives at the hotel to face GM, Cheol lets him through. He pretends to take June to GM but stabs him instead. They fight, and once again, June wins, though he's heartbroken about killing an old friend. Later, June goes to GM's house and finds him sitting in his father's chair. He asks if all this was worth it. Jiam admits he loved the feeling of winning, but now power feels empty, feeling hollow. Jiam tries to kill himself, but before he can, Jun slices his wrist, making his death slow and painful. Wounded by gunshots and knife wounds, Jun returns to the campsite he once shared with Suk. He remembers their conversation, and for the first time, he breaks down in tears. Night turns to morning, and Jun still sits silently in the same old chair, showing that he too has passed away.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos like this.